Awesome. Anyways, what was I just telling you? Because the phone was ringing on the other.
Talking about the ratings from Friday to Thursday.
Oh yeah, the ratings. So there we were Friday at 11 o'clock. Nobody's at home, bro. And Friday at 11 o'clock, and then it was changed to Thursday, which, if you don't know, is the most watched day of the week for television at 9 o'clock. That's a good time to be watching wrestling. A lot of people, like, some of what TNA is doing, or a lot of it, because it doesn't seem like they're turning off. Imagine how many more fans you would attract if you were putting on, a more reality-based product, a more smartly written product.
Right.
You could probably get 2.5, because you got to remember, back in the day of the Monday Night Wars, each show was averaging about 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about 9 million households. About 4 million households that are watching it between Raw and TNA. So that's half. Where did all those people go? I'm sure you could get a lot. You were writing something, because everybody says it, and it's true. TNA is WWE light. Okay, so now they want to go the other direction, but I think that if they went more to a reality-based show, they'd get higher ratings. Not so much illogical booking, not so many gimmick matches, not so many run-ins, not so many minor league stars, not so much stuff that leaves you scratching your head.
Yep.
I mean, how many times, Chris, and of course, once you agree with me, everybody's going to say, oh, the moderator should be partial, and this. Bro, this ain't the fucking Democratic convention. You're free to think any way you want. Tell me how many times you, if it's zero, then say it's zero. If it's a couple, it's a couple, or if it's a lot. How many times have you watched the show and just sat there scratching your head going, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, a lot. A lot recently, anyway. And to me, I remember actually I've talked with Glenn about this earlier today, because, as I'm in the midst of talking to some people, and I'd like to try to get even a little local promotion going, just to kind of get my feet wet. And I've been talking with Glenn about some concepts and just booking and just different things like that. And the biggest thing is, I remember talking about kind of a reality-based concept, and he was talking about, well, if you're catering to the internet, and I thought this was one of to me, a very stupid remark, but if you're catering to the internet, then you can do that, because he believes that you have to know the going-ons, you have to know the behind-the-scenes stuff already for the reality stuff to make sense on TV. For example, the Samoa Joe thing that I think most of us agree, as opposed to the very confusing direction they took after that pay-per-view, they should have. We expected them to go in a different direction with more of a shoot style, how Samoa Joe actually feels, as opposed to all of a sudden Kevin Nash is his mentor. We thought it would lead to something between them, etc.
Right.
But why? That's the type of stuff that I wanted to see, because that made sense to me. Now, it did to me, because I am an internet fan. I'm a smart fan. I do read about that stuff, and I get a different satisfaction out of it. But where did I find out about it? I found out about it by reading and hearing about it. So if you explain it to people, then they understand. He thinks, though, and I want to ask you about this and get your response. When I asked him and talked to him about it, he said, well, yeah, if you're catering to the internet fans, then yeah, that reality-based stuff may work. If you're catering to millions of people that are channel surfing and the people that are watching our show week in and week out, it won't work, because they won't understand it. And I think that's a bogus remark.
Yeah, well, that's definitely bullshit. Well, let me tell you what's the problem. There's a love-hate relationship between the wrestlers and the internet, and vice versa. When I first, started to get on the internet, it was a cool thing, and, everybody had a lot of good positive ideas. Then you started to get all these assholes on there thinking, they knew how to run companies and just basically burying everything that everybody did. And a lot of times they were right, but a lot of them was just a lot of negativity. And that's, I think, when the wrestlers started to turn on the internet. But I just think it's funny how when it behooves them, they listen to the internet, and when it doesn't, they don't. I'll give you an example. Any time that they do something and the internet, shits on it. Well, what do they know? They're a bunch of fucking jackoffs and a bunch of fucking geeks. And yeah, a lot of them are, but a lot of them are smart and they know what they're talking about. And they're the guys that are buying your pay-per-views and watching your TV program. But I can tell you that I've seen this since I've been in TNA, and I saw it in WCW. Right after every show, even during the show a lot of times when it was live or the pay-per-view, you see all of them on the internet. And once the dirt sheet comes in, they're all there at the fucking production room, and everybody's reading it. Reading what the internet said, reading what the fans said. And, of course, when the internet and the fans agree with them, now they're smart. Now they're cool with them. But anytime you disagree with them, you're the fucking enemy. So, and plus, who died and made him the fucking booking genius? What has he really done? What angle can he show us that drew money? Or what angle was he in that drew money? Or what has he done booking-wise that you go, wow, that was good? Here he is burying Paul Heyman, because I'm sure he's burying him because I think Vince doesn't like him. So Vince doesn't like him, he doesn't like him. It's almost like if Nash doesn't like something, he doesn't like something. And by the way, me and Nash already squashed our problem. So right now, me and him are very cool. But that's the problem, bro. When the internet agrees with them, oh man, they're getting smarter. They're understanding where we're going. Oh, they finally get it. You know what I'm saying? But whenever the internet shits on something, what a bunch of morons, what a bunch of jackoffs. It's like a love-hate relationship. And like I said before, when you hear shit from disco, like the belts are ridiculous, they're stupid, they mean nothing. Yeah, because guys like Vince Russo made it stupid. Guys like, you're always changing titles, and like when they had that hardcore title, remember it was a 24-hour title in WWE and you could win it anywhere. Yep. You had girls winning it. You had guys being pinned in the parking lot. Give me a fucking break. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, like I said before, what has he done booking-wise that you could say, wow, Glenn is real smart. He turned the business around. He made money. He hasn't done it. And all you got to do is go back to fucking AAA with me in 93 and 94. I mean, we were the hottest company in the world. We had Eddie Guerrero. We had Love Machine. We had Rey Mysterio. We had La Parka. We had Psychosis. We had a young Konnan who at that time could go. And, I mean, we revolutionized the business. And we made a lot of money. And a lot of the concepts that I came up with are still there in AAA to this day. So I can say that I have had booking success. Even in Tijuana, the hardcore marks know. When I brought hardcore wrestling from ECW to Mexico in 97, I mean, that just turned business around in Tijuana, which at that time was the hottest market in the United States. That doesn't mean that I know it all, or that anything I touch is going to turn to gold, but he's full of shit, bro. He's saying that Samoa Joe, he shouldn't have the belt on him because, he can't cut promos. Samoa Joe can cut a promo, bro. He can cut a promo, and he's a believable character, and the people are behind him. I think they didn't put the belt on him because he hadn't signed his contract yet, but from what I understand, he already has, or he's close to. So I bet you he'll get the belt soon. And what, now all of a sudden he became a good promo guy? That's right. How I show you how politics has so much to do with so much shit and people don't understand.
Well, then on top of that, though, to me it kind of takes into consideration the entertainment aspect and the wrestling aspect, because the names that you mentioned off that were a part of AAA, were phenomenal wrestlers. And TNA built their company from ground up with offering new, innovative wrestling that nobody had seen. And their marquee was "We Are Wrestling." And right. And the biggest difference, though, that I can see now is, for whatever reason, now that they've gotten on TV, they've went to a primetime spot. They immediately, for some reason, seem to think that they have to change their entire business model from what, in my opinion, I know it's very cliche, got them to the dance, that people were behind. Do you remember, Konnan, because you were there, what the crowd was like when y'all first got to the Impact Zone there in Florida, the amazing reaction to the responses, you may have the back and forth thing, which a lot of times, Glenn's made the comments in the past that that's not good. It ruins the effect. And, when you have the back and forth chants going that Ring of Honor gets a lot and guys like that, and I thought TNA had the closest thing to what, let's say, an ECW did, the original ECW with Heyman, the amazing crowd. And I'm gonna use as an example, and I want to get your response. You remember back in WCW, I remember it was Goldberg doing the jackhammer to Hulk Hogan,
right,
during their match, and I remember the atmosphere and the crowd.
Right.
They were on their feet there. As soon as he took him up, the hands all went up like they were riding a damn roller coaster ride. They were
right.
so excited because it was such a big monumental thing. WWE, unfortunately, doesn't have that anymore very often. They don't